The Minutemen, an army that once protected the people of the Commonwealth, delivering liberty and justice in only a way their ancestors of the Revolution could have done better. They were the final hope of revival for the great American way. Tragically, failure after failure, raider after gunman, caused the collapse of once a grand collection of brave men and women, not only losing their strength, but the people's trust as well. It was as their founding father of the old nation, George Washington, once said, "Man, you screwed up hard." There really was no hope. That is, until Preston Garvey, one of the last Minutemen to keep the pride of his title, met a sole survivor who agreed to lead the Minutemen to greatness once more. This man was of superior intellect and strength that no one had ever seen since the Great War. He had lost his son, but until he found him, he would always lend a hand to those in need, always with a smile on his bearded face. No matter the sadness, he is still the world's happiest man. This man, my fellow patriots, is Garfunkel Tong. But Garfunkel is also a bald, fat old man. He can't keep going on so many errands, but not every hero comes with a suit of shining armor. Sometimes he comes out of a dark alleyway, death coming for his enemies, a silver submachine gun in his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Silver Shroud. You want me to tell you a secret? Good. Garfunkel is actually the Silver Shroud. He donned the shrouded alias after he met an actually passive ghoul named Kent Connolly in a friendly little town called Good Neighbor, where people stab each other and threaten newcomers to show affection. Well, everyone that is, except for Kent. Kent is a man-child who likes listening to old Silver Shroud radios, so much so that he had initially wanted to become the Silver Shroud. The only problem was that he didn't have the costume. Luckily, Garfunkel was willing to help. That is, after him and his sidekick, Nick Valentine, took out this little ray of sunshine.
What the? That ain't no swan. Hold on, Nick. Oh, frick. My leg!
Oh, and I didn't know how to do VATS attacks either up until now. Eventually, after breaking both of his legs and almost dying again, Garfunkel managed to kill this pretty bird.
Mother. But hey, I like the look of this. Let me look at this. Well, let's go punch something with this, and then we can see if it's actually worth it.
It was. Not only did Garfunkel like the look of the crude weapon, he would begin to use it almost instantly as he stepped into the dilapidated studio where the original episodes of the Silver Shroud were recorded. It seemed other ghouls liked Silver Shroud too. There was just about one difference between these ghouls and Kent, though. Kent has an obsession he can share. These ghouls have an obsession like Gollum with the Ring of Doom. They really just want to keep their precious to themselves. The thing is, Garfunkel made a promise, and he's never been fond of ferals anyways, so you know what happened next.
Now, if Garfunkel's arm is just generally strong from being able to punch through, like, literally anything with a brass knuckles, I can't imagine what he's going to be able to do with this dang thing. I'm done just staying down here. I like the fist, though. We're going to have to use it on just people later. Oh no, I'm tempted to take him. Freaking heck, man. Hold on, Nick.
What else you got?
Haha. There it is. This just looks like a normal suit. I thought there'd at least be a mask. Yeah, there's a gun back here, though.
Huh.
Excellent.
It's just a prop gun, but,
This is where they filmed that god-awful TV show.
Oh, so you don't like it. I guess he's jealous. Yeah, we're taking this costume, though. It's mine now. Now we gotta take it back to Kent.
Before that, let me give you some valuable advice. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and turn the bell on to be notified of the latest installment. It'd be much appreciated and would show you are a true compatriot to the channel. Now back to the video.
Yeah, we'll snoop 'em out.
You can snoop somewhere else. We're out of here.
Don't snoop. Subscribe. It's better and is guaranteed satisfaction.
Is it more of those Steel Brothers? Yeah, it is. Look, it's those guys from the Red Rocket.
In the last video, Garfunkel had slaughtered his wife's murderer with help from Nick Valentine, a detective who was also a robot that he saved from the Mafia. After tracking down and killing Kellogg, Garfunkel and Nick were greeted by a hot air balloon party surrounded by live vertibirds, the same machine that Garfunkel got his minigun from. I'd initially believed that they would show up and wait for Garfunkel to come to them for a faction quest, not really becoming relevant until then. They became a pet peeve instead. I don't know why, but they just become very annoying. Probably because they're very what's that? Take it out, recording a video. The nerve. Anyways, Garfunkel makes a difficult decision. Also in the last video, it was revealed by the serial man, the murderer, that Garfunkel's son, Shaun, who he kidnapped, was now in the possession of the Institute, a secret organization known for kidnapping people. Garfunkel and Nick have no idea where the Institute is, so Garfunkel decided to take his mind off of it by helping people.
How about this? I know I really want to see Shaun. Well, Garfunkel really wants to see Shaun, but I think we should try to get back to some of our business with the other guys, and then I want to investigate that airship.
With that, Garfunkel returns to fanboy Kent and gives him his silver delight.
I got your costume, Kent. And some other goodies you might like.
There she is, pretty as the posters. The Silver Shroud costume herself. And memorabilia, too? You're something else.
What are you planning next?
I'm still working that out. Some details I want to run by you. Well, after you give me the costume, that is.
Here you go.
After all these years, the Silver Shroud is born again. But there's just one problem. I'm just not Silver Shroud material. I could be Rhett Reinhardt, or his butler, Jarvie Blake. But the Shroud is strong, capable.
Let's encourage him. He's good.
Come on. Don't sell yourself short.
I got a better idea who should wear it. You up for being the Silver Shroud?
Sure, why not? We need an alias.
Looks like I get to be the Shroud.
Time to fight crime!
And with that, the Silver Shroud was reborn for a 2200s reboot. He may be older and fatter, but he sure as heck is happier. Garfunkel takes a nap while the Silver Shroud patrols the streets.
That a Silver Shroud costume?
Heck yeah, it is.
Hey, no judgments,
Wow.
but
Hey there.
ain't that a kid's show?
Been a long time.
Oh, sure it is. Until Garfunkel makes it for all ages. E for everyone, but M for mostly men.
Silver Shroud and his sidekick, Nick Valentine, decide to test out his new equipment by leaving the somewhat comfort of Good Neighbor and entering the dark, unforgiving world of the Commonwealth.
Okay, Nick, let's go fight crime. Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. Time for a live-action remake.
After wasting a lot of time and bullets, and not dying at all, the Silver Shroud kills all gunners in the building. Deciding it was a waste of time, he went to investigate the Brotherhood of Steel's airship, bringing the Shroud of Death to all super mutants in his path. Unfortunately, the airship was on an island bordered by a large river. He didn't feel like swimming, however, so he retired for the night while Garfunkel went to speak to Preston.
Now, where's Preston? There he is.
Garfunkel had avoided Preston like the plague in the last video for his repetitive side quests, but something was telling him that he had a change of heart.
As usual, I've got something else for you to look into.
Or maybe he didn't.
At least it's not helping a new settlement. It's making one.
You know what, in-game me? You're right. Preston has changed a bit. He's put variety into his demands. Before we head off, Garfunkel departs with Nick.
It's about time for you to go, Nick.
Sure. Suppose I'll head on home then.
Nick isn't American enough to go liberty hunting yet. Maybe he will be one day, just not yet. At last, Garfunkel reunites with his oldest acquaintance in the Commonwealth, Dogmeat. You know, second oldest considering Codsworth. Dogmeat luckily wasn't far from Sanctuary. He lives with Garfunkel and Shrek in a Red Rocket gas station just outside of town. While he's there, Garfunkel takes the time to greet his neighbors, plant potatoes, and observe his decor.
Oh look, it's me.
He also realized he'd forgotten to remove his Silver Shroud costume. So now the Minutemen knew who the Shroud really was. Now Garfunkel would have to do these petty side quests for fear of the Shroud's identity being disclosed.
Let's go, Dogmeat.
Garfunkel and Dogmeat decide to reminisce on their adventures from the first episode while they make their way to the settlement, heading into High Raider territory on their travels. No one told them to do this. Garfunkel just hasn't walked his dog yet. He also wanted to spread some of that Silver Shroud awareness. making sure every raider was dead. He's a happy old man. The Silver Shroud is not. Then I realized we were in the completely wrong place.
Oh, he's not even here. Let's go, dogmate. In the name of liberty, this is not a job for the Silver Shroud. This is a job for Garfunkel Tong. Dang, I left my helmet back at home. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just a helmet. Ah, there we are. Garfunkel's army helmet.
Now that he'd remembered to take off his costume, Garfunkel has officially returned. Don't worry, the Silver Shroud will be back later. This is his video after all. After sorting that out, Garfunkel is almost killed by a monkey, obtains a good bit of cash, and arrives at the spot for the new settlement, which is inhabited by a broken hippie.
I only thought humans could get high. What's wrong with him?
And a bunch of, surprise, ghouls.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
Sweet roll. Finally found my sweet roll. And... dummy over here didn't hear it. There is one thing we didn't clear out. I think he's kind of groovy though, so we should leave him alone.
Having cleared out the ghouls and reclaimed his sweet roll, which he probably won't eat now because it's filthy and probably highly contaminated, Garfunkel powers up a recruit beacon, finishing quite possibly his easiest Minutemen mission yet. When he returns to his supposed second command, Preston has something intriguing to say this time.
We've
Oh,
gotten
great.
big enough that we're having trouble communicating with all our settlements. It's a good problem to have, and I have a solution. I think it's time to retake the castle.
Although America wasn't made for kings, Preston explains that there's a castle here. This castle is actually Fort Independence, a pre-revolutionary fort that was named by John Adams. After the Great War, it was turned into the HQ for the Minutemen before they got their butts handed to them by scary sea monster that Preston expects is still there. He claims that should the Minutemen and Garfunkel retake the castle, they'd be able to broadcast a radio station to communicate and send messages all over the Commonwealth, a machine Preston would probably use to spam more side quests on Garfunkel, or something Garfunkel would use to play 10-hour meme compilations on repeat.
So, should I have an assault force assemble near the castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this.
We'll do some recon and meet you outside the castle. See you there.
Heck yeah, we're taking the castle in the name of liberty.
With the plans in mind, and my Helldiver's ex-patriotism gears a-turnin', Garfunkel and Dogmeat head off to the castle. Along the way, Garfunkel and Dogmeat have a heartwarming moment.
What'd you find? Ah, good boy.
How you doing, buddy? Hey, boy. You know any tricks?
Good boy.
Enjoy the cute dog moments. Everything after this is just straight up chaos.
They're not very far from the ship.
I assume that will cause problems in the future. I won't research, I promise. But that doesn't mean I won't accidentally see anything in my YouTube recommendations page. Anyways, Garfunkel and Dogmeat are met by a large party, featuring raiders, scavengers, and super mutants alike.
Yeah, dog, you get that. Drugs.
Things got particularly exciting when a super mutant set off the fireworks.
Pretty good. Dogmeat? Forget that happened. There we are.
Right. Garfunkel and Dogmeat killed everyone, and then headed to the castle.
Everyone's here, General. There it is. Pretty impressive, huh?
Definitely. For 600 years old, it's in pretty good shape.
Our primary objective is to clear the courtyard.
Let's not overcomplicate this. Just get in there and hit them with everything we've got.
All right, people. You heard the General. Let's move out.
And so the great siege of the castle begins. Garfunkel understands the challenge, but this is for the people. Besides, he hasn't had crab in some time. Mirelurks seemed like the second best thing to them. He killed plenty, and intended to cook their eggs. I will say, this was probably the most annoying mission because of all the gosh dang eggs. They were everywhere. When you think you're done, boom, you missed one. After that, everything looked like smooth sailing until the scary monster appeared.
No.
Well, turns out I hadn't auto-saved, so Garfunkel had to live the last 40 minutes of his life, plus 10 because more confounded eggs spawned for some reason. Why? Just why? Whatever, Garfunkel just ended up launching rockets at the Lobster Terminal and hoped for the best.
Better get something good out of this. Let me have this one. Let me have it. I probably should have seen this coming in hindsight. Turn around. Turn around. Hey. Okay, that'll do it.
We had done it. Garfunkel and the Minutemen had taken the castle. After looting the corpses of his former allies, Garfunkel is told by Preston to set up a couple of power sources to get people to come to the castle. Then I spent about 12 minutes figuring out that...
Oh, it really does just work.
Wow, we really did it. I've been watching the Minutemen fall to pieces for so long, now we've got to pay off on what we've started. Bring the whole Commonwealth together and make it last this time. So, back to business. But with Radio Freedom up and running, we can broadcast alerts to you anywhere, anytime. Which reminds me, I've got another trouble spot for you to check out. Settlements supporting our cause.
Just when I thought we were having fun.
You heard that right. These Minutemen side quests are now inescapable. Good news is that, if Garfunkel is a good little general and does whatever Preston tells him to do, the Minutemen will probably help him find the Institute, therefore finding Shaun. So in the end, Garfunkel is still on the right path. With this in mind, Garfunkel sets up a beacon to get more friends to hang out at his new clubhouse, while he heads off with Dogmeat to bring liberty and freedom to the Commonwealth. Oh, did I say Garfunkel? No, Garfunkel's too tired after all those crabs he had to kill. He's busy cooking them. The Commonwealth is now within the heroically shadowed hands of the Silver Shroud. For his first greatest deed, the Silver Shroud will waste about 20 minutes listening to his own radio show for some reason.
I'm not listening to that whole dang thing. But you know what the Silver Shroud can do? He can take out bad guys. And because I'm bored as crap, because Garfunkel is bored as crap, the world's happiest man goes in the guise of the Silver Shroud.
But don't tell anybody. The Silver Shroud heads off in search of people in perpetuous peril, assisting specifically those who requested Minutemen help. This works out. The Silver Shroud gets to kill dastardly fiends in the name of liberty, and the Minutemen get a new settlement, also in the name of liberty. Everyone but the Raiders wins. And the Communists. Do not forget the Communists.
If you're the Silver Shroud, you gotta look for the silver lining in life.
Wise words indeed from a less wise man. The Shroud's very first destination was cleared fast, but a depressing price was paid due to a lack of careful perk management.
Is that a tiny nuke in there? Come on, man. Why can't I get into the tiny nukes? Should have looked.
Don't worry, Tiny Nuke. I shall return. The Silver Shroud takes his anger out on the feeble raiders of the Commonwealth with his silver submachine gun, regaining their trust not only in the Minutemen, but also the heroically capable and dangerous Silver Shroud.
I will come back for you, baby nuke. I promise.
Saying this reminded the Shroud of his secret identity's son, who was still missing. He will get to that after killing some more people/things.
Hey, buddy. Hole here's 250 cash.
I don't think so.
You dare to cheat the Silver Shroud? Aha!
So he decides to go talk with sidekick Nick, another person aware of his true alias, and news reporter Piper, a chick from Diamond City, a place we went to in the last video, about the whereabouts of the Institute, the villains of this story. Luckily, plot convenience has brought everyone necessary to the same room.
Well, Nikki Valentine walks into my office for a change.
What can I say, Piper? You, me, and hard luck all seem to run together like acid rain down an old sewer.
Including your client here in that analogy? So, you two are finally letting me in on this little case of yours. What's the story?
Dang it, Garfunkel is terrible at being a superhero. He can't keep his secret identity hidden from anybody. Whatever. Garfunkel tells Piper about how Kellogg gave Shaun to the Institute and that he, Garfunkel, had whacked his head off with a big stick. Nick proposes the wild plan of using a bit of Kellogg's brains to attempt to recover memories on how to get into the Institute.
Look, there's a place in Good Neighbor called the Memory Den. If anyone could get a dead brain to sing, it'll be Dr. Amari, the mind behind the memories. I guess we're gonna need a piece of Kellogg's brain. Enough gray matter to bring to Amari and find out if this is going to work.
Jesus, Nick. Gross. Seriously?
I know it's grisly, but what choice do we have? We got no leads, nothing. That old merc's brain just might have all the secrets we need to know.
Good news is, Garfunkel likes keeping souvenirs. After blowing up Kellogg's head, Garfunkel picked some robot bits off of his corpse, one of those being a configured brain. With this, Piper and Nick agree that Garfunkel has to go and try to retrieve Kellogg's memories from the nostalgia den, so Nick follows the Silver Shroud on a little boy's trip to the club.
I'll be here if you need me. And by the way, at some point, you owe me an interview. I want to hear how this whole story got started.
Alright, sounds good.
That can be interpreted as, sorry but no. I may come back later, but that'll be after the baby nuke. Anyways, the Silver Shroud and his sidekick Nick Valentine head to Neighborhood, the Shroud's favorite little happy place. Well, after they helped a good citizen of Diamond City by retrieving paint for him. By that I mean selling it to him.
I could use money. Could I have more?
Only if you throw in some more money.
Fine. Pay you 125 caps.
Paint retrieval. I'm on it.
Hey, he could use an extra buck. Up until now, the Silver Shroud was only being paid with friendship. Something only poor, sweet old Garfunkel Tong would see as a reward. Better news is that the Shroud had a short chemistry lesson, not only with the men and women he killed, remember, E for everyone, he also played with the paint a little, and so managed to obtain the paint Abbott really wanted, which landed some real cash in his shady pockets.
There's your payment, and a little bonus for getting the right shade of green. Don't do anything with it I wouldn't do.
Dang.
It's a symbol.
He improved that by over 100. Plus my bribe. It's the thought that counts. Put in the extra work, get more cash. Do that and follow your dreams. It's the only way to live. That's something Garfunkel would say. Oh, and beware of communism. Communism's bad for your mental health.
After playing the American game of capitalism with the local youth, the Silver Shroud and Nick make their heroic advance on Neighborhood's nostalgia club in hopes of gaining someone else's happy memories, something everyone must do once in their life. That is what family channels are for. After watching Nick flirt with the Sofa Queen, the Shroud and his sidekick head downstairs to speak with the doctor.
We need your help, Doctor. I need the memories from a man named Kellogg. But he's dead.
I know it's asking for a miracle, Omari, but you've pulled off the impossible before.
Luckily, the Silver Shroud has his way of getting out of sticky situations such as this, and so is capable of convincing Amari to try hooking up Kellogg's tiny Fruit Loop of a brain to his side Nick's robotic brain, seeing as it is Institute Tech. He knew that, and definitely no conversation before this brought it up.
Don't worry about me, Amari. I'm well past the warranty date anyway.
I appreciate this, Nick.
You can thank me when we've found your son.
So Amari hooks up Nick to the machine. Weirdly enough, though, Amari claims that the brain's inscription is too strong for just one mind. So the Silver Shroud has to join in with the brain games with Nick in the memory loungers.
Nick and I are gonna share a mind? Yeah, I'm not gonna see him in any compromising positions, am I?
If smart mouth was all it took to solve problems, we would have found your son by now.
No.
Whatever, Nick. We saw only Kellogg's memories anyhow. I won't get into details or make you listen to more NPC monologues from Kellogg. But it turns out he had a family like Garfunkel once too. Apparently they were killed, almost like Garfunkel's. Maybe Garfunkel and the Cereal Man weren't so different after all. I mean, you get it, whatever.
His family died then.
Getting closer. Try this next one.
That's why he became evil. Will Garfunkel turn evil?
After walking down someone else's memory lane for some time, Garfunkel sees not only himself, but, lo and behold, Shaun. A 10-year-old boy with white hair for some reason. Then a dude from the Matrix shows up.
One of our scientists has left the Institute.
Left? As in?
He's gone rogue. Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the glowing sea. Your only mission is to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay. Bye, Mr. Kellogg. I hope I see you again soon.
Shaun?
Bye.
You got evaporated.
Teleportation.
He's gonna see
Now
me.
it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance.
With that, Garfunkel is released from Kellogg's brain.
There's more than one person who knows about the Institute. Virgil, that scientist who
I
escaped.
didn't know Institute scientists could defect.
It is made clear that someone alive knows how to get into the Institute. Dante's brother, who'd fled the Institute for some ambiguous reason. Apparently, he's bunkered out in the glowing sea, a place with high radiation. The only way to get in and not die is to either load up on drugs or hop in a power suit. I wonder who has one of those. Ah yes, the Silver Shroud, who borrowed it from Garfunkel. First though, he has to remind Nick that it's time to leave the club.
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head. That was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
Kellogg? Is that you?
What? What are you talking about?
Wait. Were you just playing a joke on me?
Oh, so he does have a sense of humor. Anyways, Warhammer time. After the Silver Shroud repairs it, again, and again, and again. Whatever, we're getting on with it. The Silver Shroud had a few run-ins. Nothing he couldn't handle, you know. Like when I finally snapped at the sight of a Brotherhood vertibird.
Come down, little birdie, come down. Heck yeah! America!
That wasn't the last glorious kill either. The Shroud also killed these nerds. Although I will say, I am proud of how he handled that death claw. Now he's unstoppable.
There's no frickin' way a blowfly killed me.
Forget that, the Shroud also promises to help more settlers after finding Virgil.
Because we need to save Shaun. I don't know if you knew that.
And more repairs. Swiftly avoiding the dreaded blowfly, the Silver Shroud enters the wastelands.
Alright, he's a bit further than I anticipated, but surely it's not gonna be that hard to find him.
It was the Silver Shroud, or like Iron Man now. Wandered for over an hour looking for the Green Sea, killing ghouls, red scorpions, and death claws alike.
Where'd he go? The frick did he go?
After a while, he just stopped going back to repair the power armor. He eventually stopped at the crater where Virgil was last seen, where some hippies live.
Stop right there, stranger. You approach Atom's holy ground. Why? State your purpose or be divided in his sight.
Holy ground? Atom?
Anyways, neglecting that, she told the Silver Shroud where Virgil was. In another crater. So he and Side Nick were off again, finally arriving at a cave opening.
So really, this must be his cave. And that must be his dog. Hey Bubba, come over here. You look like you need a hug. Ah! Take that, you stupid dog.
Maybe it's just a side effect of radiation, I don't know. Anyways, the Shroud heads into the cave, his Side Nick by his side.
You're Virgil?
Hold it. Take it nice and slow. No sudden moves. I know you're from the Institute. So where's Kellogg? Huh? Trying to sneak up on me while you distract me? I need your help.
Garfunkel explains to a very green Virgil that he needs help to get to his old workplace. He also tells him of his victory over Kellogg.
But Kellogg's been taken care of.
Dead. He's dead. Don't you lie to me.
I'm not lying. I killed him myself.
Did you?
Well, Garfunkel did anyways. The Silver Shroud then asks how to get to the Institute.
What reason could you possibly have for taking that kind of risk?
The only reason that anyone should have.
I'm trying to find my son. The Institute kidnapped him.
Oh, I can help. But I'm going to need something in return.
Virgil explains that he hates when his robot pets call him Daddy Shrek, so he makes Garfunkel promise to retrieve a cure for his super mutant disease. Something Strong would disapprove of. The Shroud agrees, and so is told how to enter the Diabolical Institute. Apparently, Garfunkel / the Shroud needs to locate a courser, one of those Matrix dudes that took Shaun to the Institute in the memory. They are all synths but look exactly like humans. Once he finds the courser, Garfunkel has to kill it and take its molecular relayer, the teleportation device. Actually, the relayer is the machine that moves them between different areas. It can only work with a chip embedded in the courser's head, so our shrouded, well, armored, hero will need to get that to get in. Virgil isn't very sure where Garfunkel will find a courser, but he believes that he can locate one by going to the ruins of CIT, a building directly above the Institute, and use his big fancy watch to listen in on the radio interference caused by the relayer. Then he can hunt down the hunter and settle it the way Garfunkel always settles things with mean Institute robots.
I really do hope you find what you're looking for.
Alright, thanks, Virgil. He seems nice. Oh, and I'm sorry for blowing up your robot. I thought you were gonna try to kill me.
You what?
Unfortunately, killing a courser and curing Radis steroids will have to wait for later. For now, he kills the raiders that the settlers from the near wasteland had told him to kill about 2 in-game days ago. He even got a mini surprise.
Nick! No! Oh, right, he can't die. You good, man?
Thanks,
A mini nuke? Yes! I got a mini nuke!
With that amount of adrenaline, Garfunkel rids Hyde Park of the raiders. Even the Brotherhood of Steel joins in, hoping he stops blowing up their vertibirds. In return for their help, he did stop, because he wanted to savor his ammo on the raiders. It doesn't help either that one of the Brotherhood troops had power armor. After that, Garfunkel returns to Preston.
The Silver Shroud tells his go-ready boss, second-hand man, about his victories.
Apparently the castle's been trying to get you on the radio. Some kind of situation over there.
What?
Gotta go see what's going on.
Luckily, it was just an old lady named Ronnie who wanted to help us gain access to the most American thing since liberty. Explosives. So they enter the basement via scrapping.
If life were only as simple as scrapping everything in your path. But that's not a problem for the Silver Shroud. Alright.
Ronnie helps her new general clear out the basement of any communists and find the original, completely intact corpse of the original general. He's not even rotting.
Let's see what Garfunkel looks like in his general armor. Quite distinguished, wouldn't you think? I look quite revolutionary.
Okay, here we are.
The general is then met with a beautiful sight of tons of ammo for him to use, including a gift from Uncle Sam himself, a fat boy, a gun capable of launching mini-nukes.
I have to admit, Ronnie, having artillery would help out quite a bit.
Oh, we used to rain down fire on Deathclaws and super mutants alike. It was a glorious thing.
We will rename this because Liberty is a woman, apparently. Okay, now, fire!
After wasting 40 minutes trying to figure out the mechanics of the artillery, Garfunkel manages to bring defenses back to the walls of the castle. The Silver Shroud has vanished. In his place is the world's happiest general.
Well, here we are. It's quite good to be the general of the Minutemen, but of course, I always found it a lot more entertaining to be the Silver Shroud. My only question is, what now? There seems to be a common enemy. I say there's only room for one army in the Commonwealth, so I think we should gather as many settlements as possible. Even though, you know, it can be annoying sometimes. Besides, Garfunkel loves helping people, and he'll just keep getting happier if he gets more people to help. But of course, then we need to figure out how to get into the Institute by killing that synth that's hunting us down. All in due time, though. All in due time.
Sadly, that's where we will have to leave it. Thank you for watching this video. That's right, you made it to the end. That's very American of you to finish what you started. This concludes the 3rd episode of the familial adventures of Garfunkel Tong. This episode was a blast to make, as usual, and I doubt the Silver Shroud will ever be seen as a kids' show again. If you believe me and enjoyed this video, please smash that like button with a dang power fist for all I care, and please subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified of the latest installment. Overall, this reboot's been pretty successful. Until then, this Vigilante's out.